I hate grapes. I can't stand grapes.
I loathe grapes, all kinds of grapes. I hate purple grapes, I hate green grapes, I hate grapes with seeds.
I hate grapes without seeds.
I hate them peeled and non-peeled. I hate them in bunches.
One at a time or in groups of 2s and 3s.
I hate
grapes.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of MovieStrange. And the way MovieStrange works is my two friends here, Uncle Al and Drew, they each give me blindly 4 words, and I pick a movie based on those 4 words. And these movies are cult movies. These are my 2 cult experts. And I'm sort of a test subject because I don't watch a lot of cult films. And I watch these films and we talk about these films. So last week's 8 words, we'll say 8 words, were grapes, murder, couple, plumber, and teenage murder, Uncle Creepy. Now, it's interesting. Murders in both of these. It would have been weird if plumber were in both. That would have been really strange. But so the one I picked was grapes, murder, couple, plumber. And of course, it's an Uncle Al film. Uncle Al
right.
joint. So, Uncle Al, what's the film that I picked?
The film he picked is Psychos in Love from 1986. It is Vinegar Syndrome release 185, in case anybody
What does that
wants to know.
mean? What is that? They number these?
Yeah, they have numbered releases. This is 185.
Yeah, like
I think we're up to like 340 now.
Oh, wow. And is Vinegar Syndrome, explain who Vinegar Syndrome is.
Vinegar Syndrome is a film preservation, restoration, and film label that puts out releases. So they have I think they have a 4K scanner in house, and they rescue films and scan them at 4K and put out UHD and Blu-rays and DVDs.
Yeah, I know. They also restored porno movies, right? For the show on HBO called The Deuce.
That's
right?
That's how they originally started. That was their main attraction or product, I guess, was vintage pornography, but they've moved into exploitation and horror films.
And they're located
penetrated other markets, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Now, I've watched a bunch of since I've joined this cult group with you two.
We're not a cult.
Look, no, I'm saying the cult movie group. I'm sorry, cult movie group. I've joined a lot of. I've been watching a lot of cult movie YouTube pod stuff. And it's a rabbit hole that I've gone down, and Vinegar Syndrome is brought up a lot. Like, I think they're pretty popular. There's another one.
They're exploding in popularity right now.
And the other one is Severin.
Mm-hmm. Severin,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, Vinegar Syndrome is located in sunny downtown Bridgeport, Connecticut.
That's right.
And I know that because Uncle Al and I took a long road trip to go visit them and buy some laser discs and other stuff.
Nice.
So we're very familiar with that group. So Psychos in Love. Why don't do you want to give a little plot scenario? Or should I show the trailer? What do you want to do?
Sure. I'll just, what I would call this film is a goofy meta mockumentary.
That's a good way.
I think I'm just going to read the plot synopsis real fast. And then you could show the clip. So
okay.
Joe runs a strip club and Kate is an attractive young manicurist. After bonding over their mutual dislike of grapes, they discover another commonality. Both of them are bloodthirsty serial killers. As they begin to balance their obsession with murder and each other, they meet Herman, a cannibal who, upon discovering their bloodlust, attempts to lure them into killing as a means to satisfy his craving for human flesh.
All right, let's say a couple of things I want to say before I show the trailer. First of all, I had no idea that dude's name was Herman, number one. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Herman
either.
the plumber.
Right. Herman the plumber. Joe works at a strip club.
Yeah, he's a bartender.
Kate, a bartender, thank you. And Kate is a manicurist, right?
Yes.
And this movie is shot to go directly to video, correct? Was this going to get anything?
I don't know that because this was shot on film. So,
it was shot on the outs of film, like extra stuff that they found.
It's a short ends thing, which is a very clever way to save money. I mean, The whole movie goes very, very far for its budget, considering, frankly.
But actually, if you look at the poster that I put up, okay, in that corner down there, it says too gory for the silver screen, straight to video, basically.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. Now, I say that because when I first, and we'll show the trailer in a sec, but when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, this thing is going to be, they're going to go off. And it kind of mellowed out. It didn't get that gory, but we'll save the discussion.
I'm a psycho killer.
I don't believe it.
What?
Me too.
Get out of here, really?
Really? I'm not kidding.
Okay, that's Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, part 2. Friday the 13th, part 3. Friday the 13th, part 4. And Friday the 13th, part 5. That's Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3. That's Death Wish 1 and Death Wish 2. That's Dawn of the Dead. That's Night of the Living Dead.
Don't forget Day of the Dead.
Yeah, I was just getting to that. That's Psycho 1 and Psycho 2. Wow! That's Deadly Eyes, Deadly Strangers.
What do you do with the bodies after?
That's I Eat Your Skin. That's I Spit on Your Grave. The Debbie Reynolds workout tape. That's The House of Seven Corpses. The house that Jack built. And the house on Sorority Row. I have got to find another job.
Oh, can I have one of these? Betty. Keith. Diane.
That is not at all what that movie is like.
Well, why do you say that? I don't get it. Why do you say that?
Because it's not as, I mean, it's not a slasher film per se. It's more about their relationship and them bonding over murder.
Okay.
It's not like a pure slasher film.
I got that. But when you, I describe a little more, because I want to talk about how I felt when I first started watching it versus what I ended up at, which seems to be happening with these films.
I guess for me, like the hook is that it starts out as a slasher. They want you to think that this is going to be a gore fest and people are just going to be murdered the entire movie. But really,
all you're seeing is naked bodies, women's bodies, female bodies at the beginning of the scene.
They're getting you with the pure exploitation stuff. But really what the movie is about is it's about these two people who meet each other and find a common bond and fall in love. And it's their ups and downs throughout their relationship. It's just, it has this overhanging arc of murder.
Yeah, the word that I would use to describe it, which I did not expect to use, is that it's actually sweet.
Yeah,
it's kind of a sweet movie. I mean, it's definitely a movie about murderers and cannibals and all that stuff. But I mean, the two of them together, you're not going to confuse them with the world's best actors or anything. But I believed them; they were kind of cute together, and that was they had good chemistry, which again, I did not expect that to be part of my review of the film or reaction to the film.
First of all, she looks like Molly Ringwald, right? So you got this cute redheaded girl who's I think was married to the director. That's the director's wife. Okay. And yes, you first start watching it and it's like, oh, here we go. It's naked. They're panning across naked female bodies
they start out the movie with two kills. One
immediate.
The very first kill is a girl taking a piss on a toilet, and then you go into a shower.
Oh, you say
scene.
Piss. Well, how do you know it's a piss?
I'm going by sound effects.
Okay, good point.
That's fair.
And then you get a shower scene.
Right.
Now, wait a minute. Is the first shot of the movie though? Isn't it the main character talking to the camera? Yes. So that already is not what you expect to see, like a talking head interview with somebody who then in the next two scenes you learn enjoys bringing women home and killing them.
But they were playing a little. It's like a little When Harry Met Sally thing, right? This came out in '86, I think, right?
It's a very '80s movie, yeah.
Right. And I think When Harry Met Sally came out in '86. I may be wrong about that, but it's that whole thing where the people who fall in love in the film are talking later in the film in these interviews, just like this one, right? The question I always have now as I'm watching these and I'm falling down the rabbit hole of other cult, like I fell into the Cruel Jaws thing that you mentioned last time. And I start seeing how they're ripping off movies that are ripping off movies. And my first thought is, do these people watch films? Because these films are so, like, it's so weird how, and then they do a whole Psycho. There's a shower scene in here, which is a ripoff of Psycho.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very consciously so. Yeah,
that's what I get. So they do watch films, is my point, right? They
yeah,
understand films.
These people are film fans. I would not say that these are this particular set of filmmakers aren't just in it to make money. They're not.
But do you think the bad editing and the bad kind of like they do this whole thing on the bar where these guys come up and ask for, they keep doing the same thing. I want one. And he goes over and he pours a Miller Lite. He slides it down.
I thought you liked that scene.
He goes, I want
Miller
one.
Lite on tap.
Then it's a Heineken. It's like are they purposely doing this to it's just purposeful.
Look, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of that's the joke of the movie. I mean, some movies, they know they don't have money. They have limited resources, so they lean into the limits of it and the silliness of it. That's why you have a scene where the boom mic dips into the shot and she brushes it out of the way, or there's a body laying on the ground and blood is squirting out of it, and then it doesn't stop, so they pan over and you see the film crew and you see the two guys working the blood pump and all that kind of stuff.
Two young guys.
That's a way to cover that you don't have. The kind
so
of
you
let
I think
that's where the meta comes in. They're letting us in on the
but
joke.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. I get that. Listen, this movie is more of a comedy than I expected by the title until I read the description and I was like, oh, well, this sounds ridiculous. Good. And it is ridiculous.
Well, as they fell more and more in love, they got sick of killing. They stopped killing. Right.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's sweet.
Right.
And then
Slashing just didn't give them that thrill anymore.
And then they have to go to the video store to get some tapes to rekindle their interest.
That was funny because this is already 30 years ago, and all those series. I mean, my God, he could have just kept going with Friday the 13th.
It's unbelievable,
and all that stuff. And
then she brings up, she says, "Day of the Dead." They even used in the trailer. She goes, "Day of the Dead." Don't forget that one.
Right. That's another series they've done more and remakes and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And there definitely aren't a lot of movies on that list of slasher movies that they rented that I was like, oh, that's just like the one I'm watching.
Right.
And also I had mentioned on a conversation that we recently had that while trimming the Christmas tree, I had American Horror Story on, and I'm a few seasons behind on that. And that show it's kind of crazy how gory it is. Like really incredibly graphic, great makeup and everything. So to see this movie, which has a lot of people getting stabbed and bodies getting cut up and all that kind of stuff, but it's just kind of silly.
Well, this is like Herschel Gordon Lewis,
right?
Or like Blood Feast and stuff like that. This is not. I don't think you're really meant to take this seriously. Like
I hope not. I mean, I think they're telling you right from the get-go, don't take it seriously. Yeah. I mean, the main guy, Joe, I don't know who the actor is, but it's like, has he ever acted? You like
his name is Carmen Capobianco.
Yeah, isn't he one of the writers too? I think he's one of the writers.
He kind of grows on you by the end of it. By the end of it, you're like, okay, these kind of, they're fun, and she's adorable. I mean, I know the director is married to her, or whatever, but she was great, and even you could see her like some of the reactions as they're. Like when that woman kept coming at them.
That was very funny. Yeah.
The stripper
wouldn't die. The stripper that wouldn't die.
Cannot kill it. She has a strong constitution.
She called him she's like the Terminator. You could tell that and they kept the reactions in that were reactions that were like, this is ridiculous. Why are we even doing this? There were some of those reactions that I thought were funny. They were quite funny.
Look, this is the kind of thing that it's one of those, I made a movie with my friends.
Right.
And sometimes those movies start careers like Clerks or Eraserhead. And sometimes those movies make something that's definitely its own thing. But I mean, I've never heard of these filmmakers. I've never heard of this movie or anything. But if these people were working today, they could have made a movie and put it on YouTube. They could make a podcast. Like they got together with their friends and they did something that they enjoyed doing. And that, like with them people breaking up and all that kind of stuff, there's actually a kind of joy in it that comes out of the movie, which you
have to get through. If you're asking like me, who's a normal viewer, not like you guys who, I'm not saying this is your cup of tea, but you enjoy these things. I had to get through the first couple of like, okay, here we go. And then once you break through the exploitative stuff and you get in line with the comedy that they're going for, now you're totally in. And when they pan over in that scene you're talking about, where they're on the kitchen floor, and they pan over to the two kids with the blood pump, and you see everybody behind them, the woman, the photographer, and the kid, I'm laughing out loud going, okay, I'm in. These guys, they get it. They know what they're doing. And even when he holds up that sticker, the I love VCRs, which I have pasted on all my stuff that I have back here. Yeah. It's like, all right. And this was 1986. They did this, right?
Yeah. It's not as artfully done as, I'm sure that Uncle Al has seen this. You may have seen this, Ralph. Man Bites Dog.
I know what it is. I have not seen it.
It's a Belgian movie. Maybe it'll end up on this podcast, but it's basically a Belgian movie about a couple of documentary filmmakers following a serial killer.
Right? And they get into it.
Well, but that's not even the important part. The part is that they're just following a guy, and he's I'm going to go kill this lady, and then they watch it, and it's disturbing, but it's also funny because it also feels really real, and all that kind of stuff. There was no part of this movie where I thought, I mean, it's basically the exploitation stuff is gallons of fake blood and nipples. There's not a lot of gore. There's not like a lot of horrible wounds, things like that. I mean, like the grossest in quotes thing in the movie is the Terminator woman that won't die, and they even shoot her with a shotgun twice, and she's.
I think the grossest thing is the sink.
The sink is but no. There's one guy that she meets.
Bodies. That's true. You're right. That is pretty gross.
For me, the grossest one. Okay, so the woman you're talking about with the shotgun, they don't even show that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You hear the gunshot, right? I thought they were going to show a head getting blown, but they didn't.
They didn't have
the one kid, the guy that she meets in the farm or whatever. She comes out to that farm, and she's in the middle of, or he's working on a car, and then she does his manicure. That kid that ends up chasing her out of the woods.
The one she hits with a rock.
That one, but she stabs him first, and that's the one gore thing that looked real when she stabbed him, and he pulls the thing out of his hand, and then she hits him with the rock over and over, and and he deserved it. I mean, you're rooting for her, who's this maniac killer.
He did try to sexually assault her. We didn't say that.
He did. And
he deserved what he got. It wouldn't be an exploitation movie if it didn't have violence, sexual violence, especially towards women, and then they avenge themselves. So, there's nothing in that scene to make you feel bad or that anything like that. I mean, it's a movie that's made by people who've seen all those movies that were on the pile of VHS tapes in that scene. And they've also seen lots of other movies, and they made their own sort of, let's do a silly version of it. Let's put on a show.
And they kept breaking the fourth wall, right? Yeah. That whole thing with his Asian friend kept talking some story, turns to the camera. Wouldn't you like to have subtitles now or something? Or wouldn't I don't know. I don't even know what they did.
It was silly and sweet. Yeah. Like if this was a real studio movie that came out like this, you'd be like, well, that's just dumb. But it's just kind of homemade and
part
sweet.
Of it was the two leads. Sweet, but you start I actually thought they were good. At first he was so wooden, the guy Joe, the actor, but by the end of it, he's like, I get it. I get why these two like each other. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. It was great.
I think one of the things to like about this movie is it feels like it's like a lived-in universe. Like there are these weird characters, like the guy in the gi. The Asian guy who wears the karate uniform, and then you have and then you have the vegan yoga lady who doesn't want to talk about anything.
Oh,
and then
she's
she
great.
Just unloads on Joe,
and then she does that weird dance at the end. That thing where she's dancing in the foreground while they're all at the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It just there's all these little things.
The movie has the montage of the couple doing funny things that you see in a romantic comedy. Except they did some killing. Now they're doing poses on a bar in a ballet studio kind of stuff, and then they'll go back to killing and everything.
Well, it's the whole bike. That same scene you see in every romantic comedy where they're riding bikes together, and he falls. Except when he falls, he starts pulling all the knives that are in his back pocket.
They all fall out. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Yeah.
I just want to point out really three offbeat funny dialogue lines that I really liked. Somebody says, "Doesn't anybody anymore?" Because everybody's just killing each other, and there's all these murders, but nobody wants to have sex anymore. It's just murder. When the plumber is talking to the stripper and Herman, she says, "You limp burrito, eat my taco of love."
Yeah, it's a vivid writing. Yeah.
Then during George's monologue, he says, "I want to run naked through fields of mayonnaise and feel the wind blowing through my empty eye sockets." That's my favorite line in the movie.
There's a couple things.
It's so ridiculous.
Okay. Herman, every time Herman would come out from under a sink, Herman the plumber, he'd use the plunger to pull himself up, right? He kept dropping that plunger.
Yeah.
And then I have to say this, the grape scenario that they do, the grape monologue that they do. I don't like green grapes. I don't like red grapes. I don't like skin grapes. I don't like grapes that are 3 or 2. I don't like any grapes. By the end of it, you're reciting that stupid grape thing because and then someone says, "Would you like some grape juice?" We hate grape juice. I mean,
I did enjoy in that scene we were talking about before, where you see the crew that I guess it's Herman's toolbox is open and there's a bottle of Manischewitz and a bottle of grape nuts and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't feel like maybe those products paid to be placed in this movie.
No,
it was just kind of silly.
Oh, well,
listen,
there's definitely a lot of product placement with Miller Lite and Pepsi.
I did a film in college where you had to shoot a passage of time. Okay. And mine was a guy getting out of prison and he goes to find his treasure that he buried before he got put away for 5 to 10 years. And we open it up and it's $100,000 candy bars. Okay. Like literal, that's what you do like in film school when you're just starting. And these guys are doing it for real in this film. And they might've been in film school. I have no idea. 1986 was a long time ago. But like
I made that movie in film class too in college, and my story of the passage of time, because these movies, they're like 3 minutes or whatever.
Right, exactly.
It was a guy going to different places in the college campus looking for love and being constantly disappointed with each person that he meets. At the end, he falls in love, and you see how excited he is, and it's a dachshund dog, and they run off together. But nice. You get the simple assignment to show the passage of time. Some people are going to come up with stuff that isn't the same as I went grocery shopping.
That's why you're the cult guy and he's the cult guy and I'm not the cult guy. I'm the $1,000. You want to look like money? It's $100,000 bar, whatever.
Well, there was no heavy petting of the dog or anything. I mean, it was very chaste. It was very beautiful.
Chaste.
But so, and now Al, did Vinegar Syndrome put this out on Blu-ray?
That's right. This is a Blu-ray DVD release.
Now, is there any extras on that thing?
There are tons of extras on
Really?
this. Yes, there's interviews, there's commentaries, there's promotional photo galleries, there's the trailer.
Okay.
There's a bunch of short films.
I'm ordering that. Because I fell in love with the filmmakers. I swear to God.
You can't order this. There was only 2,000 copies, and now it's out of print. So
I'm sure you can find it.
Is there some way I could get
on eBay?
Can I come to your house and watch it or what?
Sure. Why not?
After COVID.
Okay.
I will say one thing about this movie that I really liked, because I know this was, a movie made, in the 80s for no money on short ends, all that kind of stuff. This Blu-ray, it looks fantastic. Like it really, the quality of the restoration and the care that they took, which I know is what they do.
Yeah.
Same as Criterion, all that kind of stuff. It's such a great example.
These guys
of a
are magic.
that's made for nothing, and it's just beautiful.
I think they bought old equipment, right? I don't know what they're using, but
the story is they got Peter Jackson's 4K scanner from New Zealand that was used on Lord of the Rings. That's the story.
Drew, if you saw this place, so the storefront it's a storefront. So you walk in, it's like a record store. But
where is this in Connecticut?
Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's under a bridge, literally under a bridge in Bridgeport. It's right like about 30 minutes out of New York City. And the back is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, right? So you look in the back and it's this factory of beautiful film scanning and all this stuff. It's an amazing
setup. A river of blood instead of chocolate.
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
That's funny.
Yeah. But
do they have any connection to this specific movie? Because wasn't this movie shot in Connecticut or something?
I don't know how they got in touch with the filmmakers. Maybe the filmmakers approached them or they knew them. I mean, they have various methods of getting films.
Yeah, a lot of this. When you look at the credits, a lot of it was shot in Connecticut. So
I mean, I love these boutique labels that take such special care. And I'm not surprised. There's movies that I would like to own on Blu-ray that I missed the when they put out the 2,000 copies or the 3,000 copies, and so one day I'll pick it up on eBay or somebody will sell it and I'll get it for a lot less than I expected, kind of thing. But I don't know. I like it when people take that kind of care. You feel the love come out of it. It's not for everyone. The release isn't for everyone, but the people who it's for, they hit their audience straight on.
No, now if my brother John, who's on the other podcast, was going to be our ratings guy, this is a film he would never sit through.
I was gonna say he wouldn't finish it. Yeah.
No, and this is a film for people who love film, And I'm finding out with, as much as I think I look at these and I go, do these people even watch a film? Have they ever seen one before? Because some of the shot choices, and I guess it's right. I guess it's just budget and they're just trying to get it done.
It's
but
okay.
So far,
it's amateur for sure.
Right. But there's something insane about these that just keeps me, because
not everything is like that.
I understand. I haven't hit any true
I'm
gore
trying to
yet.
Pick good stuff.
I'm sure I'm sure you have some in your collection because I've seen some YouTube videos of some of these cult films that they can't show anything. And I'm sure that we're going to hit one or two of those. But so far, I have to admit that I'm enjoying the process, because these are films I would never pick to watch. But sure enough, I am, like the last one was Existence. And this one I just slowly fell in love with. By the end of it, I was all in. And I'm looking there's a website as I'm looking for these pictures. They're selling T-shirts and stuff, and that's where I came up with the PIL. When you go, what's PIL? I go, that's an acronym for this movie, right? Because it's Psychos in Love, and I didn't know how to spell psychos right away, so I'm like, PIL is easy. But it's like I almost want it. It's just fantastic. So I'm gonna say I really enjoyed this one.
That's good. That's really good.
That doesn't mean I want you guys to pick, nasty ones to get me off the scent or anything. But so far, so good.
I want to pick stuff that, and you've seen a lot of movies and you love movies, but I want to pick stuff that I don't think Ralph has seen, and that I think that you will have some kind of strong reaction to. Like, I was very excited when you saw Existence. You basically said 95% of the movie, I didn't like it. It was disorienting. It irritated me. Then it all came together at the end. I love it. I want to watch it again.
Right.
Great.
Well,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That says a lot. So, having said that, one of these days we're going to do a themed thing. I think we'll do a few more of these 4 words, but I do want to get into some themes where you guys and myself, based on the stuff that we've talked about theme wise, I think I could bring a film too. So the 3 of us would bring a film that we kind of would fit a theme. So
we could all bring a film about saxophones, for example.
I got
a lot of innovative work done with saxophones in this podcast.
I got that. That's going to be in our logo, I think, because it's brought up so many times. All right, so that was a good one. I think you should watch it just for the kitsch, but get through the first few kills, because it does feel like it's going to be very exploitive and very anti, stuff we don't want to talk about or look at. But then it does fall into a love story, and I think there's a little When Harry Met Sally vibe going here that I didn't think about until I thought about the interviews you talked about.
Well, it has to set. I think that it has to say we're this genre before breaking the genre and giving you something you don't expect.
Well, it's interesting.
It's not gory, but it's murder.
Right.
And it's like, these guys, they love each other and they're so in sync with each other. They don't even feel like murdering anymore.
Right.
And that's a nice story.
And your background's appropriate, because I think they shot it in front of something like that as well. So the black and white, that's probably where the ends were, that black and white stuff they did. But I liked it. So good job, Al.
I would say that I liked this more the second time I watched it, actually. So I think it just keeps getting better because I keep picking more things out to like.
That's amazing. I'm going to have to watch it again then, because there's some fun stuff in there that, and he did do that whole psycho thing at the beginning with the shower curtain and the blood draining down the thing. And, so there's that to be said for it, on top of the love story. And she looks so much like Molly Ringwald. It was insane.
That was the moment I realized, okay, this might be more fun than I expect, was when he talks about this girl and she's so special, and the camera goes down her on the bed and she's reading the book and everything is great. And then he's stabbing her in the shower. And I'm like, is this some sort of game that they're playing where they're doing role play? Because we know he kills people. No, he really killed her. And then he meets Kate, and it's the exact same shots and the same description and everything. It was funny. It made me laugh.
And she was the costume designer on the film as well.
Well,
you guys knew that. So
multi-purpose.
Which is why she's like, I love that she was rolling her eyes when all the blood's being pumped in by those 2 little kids that were pumping the blood. It's so much fun.
Ruining all the costumes.
You guys have your next 4 words? Now it's time for 2 movies, 4 words, brought by Uncle Al and Drew. Here we go. So we got UFO VHS Birthday Realistic, Brother Sister Zombies Oz. I'm going to go UFO VHS Birthday Realistic. That's what I'm going with.
That's me again.
Oh, come on. That's unbelievable. Well, what am I going to do? Drew, I'm sorry, but maybe the description. Oh,
you're giving me a stack of a couple more movies I can bring back with different words. It's not a problem.
Yeah, you know what we should do? Like we do a ones that didn't get, we put them in a pile. But okay, so UFO VHS birthday realistic. Let me see if I can guess it. Okay.
Yep.
Because I know if you know, I
Good
probably
luck.
can't. I can't. Can I?
Yeah, I have no idea.
UFO VHS. Okay, I have no idea. What's the film?
I forgot to bring it upstairs, but it's called the McPherson tapes. Or
Never.
tape. It's
Is it tapes or tape?
It's tape. The
Okay.
McPherson tape.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
You want to
that's
tell
my
us a
next-
little about it?
Yeah, you looking it up?
We'll say it's like one of the first found footage films.
Okay.
Oh God.
You're welcome.
Before
Yes,
Blair
way
Witch?
Before.
way before. Where was this
It's
made?
1989, so yeah, it's before.
When was Blair Witch?
99, or 98 around.
Wow, I didn't realize Blair Witch was that late, actually. I thought Blair Witch was the 80s. That was 90?
99, I think, is right.
That's amazing.
That was the year of years, man.
That's amazing. Okay.
And this is a shorter one. This is like 63 minutes, so
Oh, thank goodness.
you don't have to suffer too long.
So I'll watch it twice. It must be awesome if it's 63 minutes.
Well, you can watch Psychos in Love again. Get that
That's
second
right.
view.
Do that. I'll use this as the preview before. What's the name of this again for everybody?
The McPherson tape.
The McPherson tape. Okay.
Yeah.
It's apparently also known as UFO abduction,
Yes.
which is a little less evocative than the McPherson tape. So I'm glad that they went
And
with that.
this is shot on video, so this is not.
But
not
is
film.
it realistic?
Yes, I would consider it realistic.
I'll bet it's set at a birthday celebration of some kind. I'm
Perhaps.
just guessing. I haven't seen it. I'm just guessing.
So far, I'm enjoying the learning about these, watching these films that you guys are bringing. So I appreciate it. I know, Al, you're gonna dump some other ones. I got it. So there's something
I'm just
coming.
trying to lighten the mood a little bit after The Devil's Honey, I think.
The Devil's Honey was good. I mean,
Good,
Good, bad.
Was it?
good,
Was
bad,
it good?
very bad. But fun to talk about. I'll
Oh,
just
good.
put it
Well, I'm
that
glad
way.
we're ready for next week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's it for this week. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll let you know how this film went. Sound good?
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
you two. Have a great week,
See you guys.
and
You too.
see you next
See ya.
time.